Starting a book is unfortunately much easier than finishing one. And because of this, many writers never get to actually write the end. Today I'll be sharing 9 tips to help you finish that first book of yours. These are the things that I find most helpful to get the actual writing done, and they are also the things I think first-time novelists might be missing from their routines. Number 1 is to figure out what your goal is. It's good to know your goal from the start because it will help you keep focused on the bigger picture as you write. It will also be a great guide to your process and planning later on. Now, not everyone needs a vision board for every writing project, but keeping your end goal in mind can be really motivating, especially when the writing gets difficult. So ask yourself why you want to write this book. Is it just for fun, or maybe for the challenge of writing an entire novel by yourself? Do you want to improve your skills by branching out into a different, longer form of writing? Do you want to use this book as a way to learn the self-publishing process, or do you even maybe want to query and traditionally publish this book? Keeping your big end goal like this in mind while you're planning can really help motivate you. Number 2 is to build a good writing habit. So building a good writing habit will mean different things to everybody. So for some, this might mean writing for 4 hours twice a week, or for writing 1 hour every day. You could also use word count or page goals here, but I find that these can be an unnecessary stressor for early beginners. I love using word count goals when I'm drafting, but I think that in the beginning, it is probably better to just start off with a time goal instead of a word count goal. It all really just depends on your schedule and what you consider successful for a writing session. When you're conditioned to write at a certain time, it will make the writing come easier to you during that amount of time, and it will usually make you more efficient too. The more you work on your writing muscles, the stronger they will get. When you go a long time without drafting, like I do when I'm editing a book, when you go back to writing after that, it can be more difficult, and your word count will probably suffer for it like mine does. Number 3 is make a plan. This goes hand in hand with the last one. So if you're outlining your book, this will probably look like a detailed outline about your plot and a plan to write maybe a chapter every week or something like that. If you're not an outliner, this might mean a basic vision for your story and a weekly word count goal. It's helpful at this point to take into consideration how much you know you can write in a given period of time. In school, I could write only about 1,500 words for my novel per week on average. Make sure to also account for time that you need off. If you guess on the high end of your writing ability, it will be very easy to fall behind, and that can be pretty discouraging, especially when you're starting off. So with just that, you can start to figure out a long-term goal for your writing project. It could be as simple as writing 8,000 words by the end of the month, or finishing a certain number of scenes or chapters by any given deadline that you choose. Everyone's plan and level of detail will be a little bit different, so just figure out what your goals are and then find an easy way to track it. A simple calendar reminder every month to check your word count might be the best option for you, or you could use something like the writing program Scrivener's built-in word count feature. And you can always adjust your goals if they're too lofty at first. I know I did. A lot. As you continue to grow and learn about your own writing process, you will be able to guess a lot easier how long certain processes will take you. Number 4 is try different methods. When I wrote my first book, I thought I was a discovery writer. I now call myself an extreme outliner, so you can see that there's a big difference in my process then versus now. I tried out a variety of outlining methods, character sheets, and writing techniques while I was working on my first couple of books. This was so that I could start to narrow down what the best methods for me are. So by constantly trying new methods and ideas, you can start to puzzle piece them together to find the best routines that work for you. I'm still tweaking my process with each new book, but I feel like the level of change has slowed down a lot. Now it's more of a lot of small tweaks here and there, and improving the methods that I know I already like. You can find new methods absolutely everywhere. The internet is your library, so Google away. Number 5 is keep learning. Writing your first book is going to teach you so much about the craft of writing, but also your own writing process. The sheer amount of improvement you can see in your own writing is insane from one project to the next. Sometimes even just one draft to the next can feel like it was written by a completely different person. So if you're reading books about writing and you're trying different methods, if you're finding training wherever you can and just still talking to your fellow writers about their processes, you're probably on the right track. Something else you can try is dissecting some of the books that you read. Whatever elements you enjoy, figure out what about them is actually enjoyable to you. Finding out what you like is good, but finding out why you like it is even more useful. Number 6 is writing sprints. I love writing sprints. They are one of my favorite tools to use when writing. They're fun and they're great for when you only have a little bit of time to write. Also, when you only have a little motivation to write. I always like to start with a couple of shorter writing sprints, like 5 minutes, and then move into 15 to 20 minute sprints. Number 7 is put in the time and words. Unfortunately, adding to your Pinterest boards will not write your draft. I know, this was a shock to me too. Not that Pinterest isn't helpful at times, but procrastinating will not add words to your page. The only way you're actually going to get the book written is to put in the time and the words. Pushing through not wanting to write is just something you gotta do sometimes. This usually gets a lot easier with practice, but everybody still has slow days. If you're taking the time to build a good writing habit, then you are slowly working towards the process of making writing easier every day. Over time, it will become easier to sit down and just make the words go, but you do have to practice at it. If you'd like to hear my best tips for stopping procrastination, you can find the link in the cards to a previous video of mine. Number 8 is Nano is not for everybody. National Novel Writing Month, aka NaNoWriMo, is a yearly writing challenge that hundreds of thousands of people take. The challenge is to write 50,000 words of a novel in 1 month. This can be a really fun challenge, but it is definitely not for everybody. To write 50,000 words in 1 month is an awesome, but also very challenging goal, and one that I have never actually accomplished myself. It is for this reason that Nano is not for every first-time novel writer. But they also have Camp Nano every April and July. During Camp Nano, you can set your own goal for whatever kind of project that you would like. During Camp Nano, writers can set their own word count goals and work on projects that aren't necessarily novels. You could work on editing your novel and have your goal be to edit a certain amount of words per day, or you could work on writing something more like a screenplay. If you're considering a community writing challenge like this, Camp Nano might be a better fit for first-time writers. It really depends on your current writing speed though, because if you're looking at NaNoWriMo and thinking, well, my normal word count, daily word count, isn't that different from the 1666.7 words that I need every day for Nano, then you're probably good to go do NaNoWriMo anyway. But for those of us who do not write that many words every single day, Camp Nano is a better fit usually. And number 9 is don't worry so much. You're going to get frustrated and you're going to want to procrastinate and be on Pinterest instead of writing, but the most important part of writing your first book is actually finishing writing your first book. There are going to be bad lines and pointless scenes and entire chapters or sections of the book that you hate. And that is okay, because that's just what's going to happen. If you'd like to dive into the world of Alexia, you can check out Age of the Gods, which is a free short story I have available on my website, linked down below. Alright, that's all I got for you today, so thanks for watching. Bye!